Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day, anti-Freemason all day, anti-gang stalker all day, anti-Satan all day. Yeah, so anti-witch all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-psychic all day. Yeah, so this video basically is going to be about, you know, a king couldn't do this to you, but a prophet could. A king could not do this to you, but a prophet could. What people are going to understand is when you play with a prophet, it's a whole different ballgame. Now I know for some people they may think that, oh, this is some exciting war. It won't be exciting for long, buddy. It's not gonna be exciting for long. It's not gonna be interesting for long, and it's not gonna be entertaining for very much longer. Okay? Playtime is absolutely officially over. Okay? A king, for all these spectators and fanatics and obsessed people who are obsessed with my life, let me help you understand something. I am no king, okay? A king is for the people. I am not for the American people, okay? A king is for the community. I am not for the American community, okay? You have 50 states of gay marriage. I serve God. You don't serve God. This explains why I am not for your community. Okay? I do not serve your community. I am not here for your community. Okay? You have received misinformation. Someone told you that to flag me, to put me under surveillance. The whole king thing and all of that was all to keep me under community surveillance. And stupid people fell for it. Yes, I am powerful. Yes, I am just as probably as powerful. God has made me just as powerful as a king. Okay, but the whole point was they had no intentions of making me a king. They had intentions only of keeping me under surveillance. That was the whole thing. That's all it was about. Because ask yourself, okay, where's the throne? Where's the money? So king is just cold, is just a decoy. It's just a lie. It's a deception. Okay, but I am a prophet, which is more powerful than the kings of your um, community. Okay, a prophet is more powerful because, let me explain how. Because a prophet doesn't have to sit up and use men to run and around and do anything. Do you see me using men to run around? Is there any men coming back to me, communicating information, relaying information to me so that I could further strategize against some community? That's not happening. Okay, so that officially makes me not a king by strategy or position. A prophet can destroy his enemies, his or her enemies, without even moving, without any men. Okay, only a prophet could bring this damage to you, not a king. A king has to have men that run around. Okay, I don't have men that run around. I don't have men that answer to me, do I? Okay, so the whole king act, all this king stuff is clown stuff that they probably found on The Walking Dead. Remember on The Walking Dead, the guy with the gray dreads? They said he was a king, and then he said he just went along with it. Listen, or is it Game of Thrones where they made the crippled little boy a king? They forced him to be a king. Whatever you got, because people are influenced by, in this country, all forms of entertainment. If they're influenced by music, okay, you got people that walk around here and they hear music and they want to be gangsters. You don't think there's people that hear movies and see movies and want to be live in some fantasy world of kings and all of this stuff? Of course it is. But I'm here to set the record straight. Okay? I'm here to set it totally straight. There is no king. Okay? There is no king. Why would I do something for a community that attacked me? Why would I do something for people that's playing games like I'm their little boy to play with? Yeah, you got me twisted. You got me way twisted. I'd rather die than submit to your community. Okay? I don't play games. I'm not going to die, but my point is before me and this community is together, I don't care. Listen, you should have came to me as a grown man or a grown woman. If you're not able to do that, then you're not fit to live, in my opinion. You're not fit to live. You're too much of a coward. Okay? I move in strategy. I move in strategy. That's the difference between me and you. Okay, so all that foolishness that you got going is all you have to eat it. It had nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. Okay, and if you play with me, we're going to continue to see your community be demolished. If you want to play with a prophet of God, you're going to get the full throttle. I'm not going to give you half. And when we give you full, don't cry, king, 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 king. We don't want to hear that. I am no king. I am a prophet of God. Okay? So you can stop the movies, you can stop the white boy, and I'm not a racist, but you can stop the white boy movies, the white boy cinema time, where you think this is Game of Thrones or Walking Dead. Buddy, listen, boy, you got the wrong man to play with. I'm a prophet of God. I will destroy your community. Okay? And that's apparent. That's obvious. And I'm not, and I don't have fans. Any fanatics, you are cursed. Any people around calling me king, you are cursed. This is not I'm not Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. I am not Hakeem. Okay? This is not a game, bruh. You got like people are influenced by music, they're influenced by movies too. They're influenced by movies. I am not no Hakeem, Eddie Murphy, King, Prince. You tripping. You're going to respect me as a prophet of God. Let's say it. Say the difference between king and prophet. Prophet. A prophet has no king, no K in that, is it? No I in that, is it? No N in that, is it? No G in it, is it? Okay? Yeah, a servant of God is not infatuated with thrones. A servant of God is not infatuated with being a king. A servant of God is not bloodthirsty to be a king. Okay? You're in the world. You're dumb Americans, and I am a servant of the Lord. You thought you could play just like with how Americans are. You think you could take all the resources of the world, and not this time, buddy. Okay? I will curse you all to death. Okay? And God will honor it. Okay? So we're going to send all of this that's out there into destruction starting now. It's not, listen, I'm not playing any games, bro. Okay? I'm not a special wizard. I'm not a special gifted little guy. Okay? I am a prophet of God. I am not some elf magical person. You play with me, I will send you to graves. Okay? I don't make threats. I make promises. I don't make threats. My threats are not, listen, I don't make empty threats. I don't make empty threats. I do not make empty threats. Okay? For people that think it's a game, you're going to be the first one dead. You're going to be the first one dead. And I promise you, I will make it through all the thick of all of this foolishness unscathed, because that's my God. You, on the other hand, your country is about to go through the worst things that humanity has ever seen, and God is going to do it all. Listen, like I told you before, a prophet don't have to do anything to you. You're talking about a king. I don't have to do nothing physically to you. I am a prophet. The worst thing you should fear, because I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to be a part of your politics. I don't have to be part of your community. I don't have to know who's who. I don't have to know what's what. You got to do that because you're incompetent spiritually. I'm competent spiritually. God sends his angels and he sends his power to take care of anything that's out there. That's why it's getting done. And I'm sitting right here in my room, right? Okay, that's the power of a prophet. That's why you don't play with us. Because I don't have to go out there to manipulate. And if anything's even dare happens near me or around me, you lose. We totally conquer. That's what we do. We don't reign. A king reigns. A king reigns. We conquer. I conquer. You know the difference between reigning and conquering? Conquering, I will sit back and watch you. You will sit back and watch me rule and win, and you can do nothing about it. That's conquering. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it, whether you want to or not, whether you wish I was dead or not. You're not gonna be able to do anything about it. That's the power of conquering. That's called being conquered, not beaten, not defeated. You're conquered. Conquer is when I rule over and destroy you all, and it's nothing you can do. That's conquered. That's not defeated. Defeated, you still can live and fight another day. You're not going to fight another day. You're going to be conquered, which means your community is going to be suspended from progression. Your country is going to be suspended towards progression. I'm not in any program. I'm not retarded, brother. You got the wrong man. Ain't nothing retarded about me. I've been strategizing and defeating your community. Okay? By spiritual means, which means the FBI, the CIA, the government can't do nothing about it. All they can do is try to fight me in my lane. And have they been successful yet? With all the witches and warlocks and all the little ghouls and wizards and all the foolishness that they doing, all that mind foolishness they doing, has it been successful? See, I'm not ET. You act like ET. I'm a Christian, and now you know God is real. Yeah, ain't nothing ET about me, buddy. Ain't nothing ET about me. Listen, I'm a Christian, and you lose. That's what it is. You met a real Christian finally in your community, and you lose. Okay? That's what happened. You got all these fake Christians, so much so that you thought you could play with me. I put a Satanist in his or her place. I put you in your place. I put you in your place so good, you will understand. You will listen. You will never want to challenge a Christian again. When I finish with you. When I finish with you, you would never want to challenge any Christians again, buddy. Yeah, you thought we were somebody to sit up here sweet and all of this. And listen, I can't speak for American Christians. I can only speak for the Word of God, the Bible. My relationship with the living God and the Messiah, the Son of God. And me being filled with the Holy Ghost. It has nothing to do with America. Christianity is not an American religion. It doesn't come from America. You're playing with something outside of America, buddy. Keep that in mind. Keep that clear in mind. With all your little Americanized people that try to make me out to be some bad guy, some terrorist. Listen, you play with fire, you get burned. It's simple as that. We're not going to play with grown children that think they can play with the life of a person and then think that nothing will happen if they do so. Your police, your Freemason police, played games with me. Okay? And they did not make it right. You know, they owe me money. Your Freemason police owe me money. And so since these little coppers
didn't want to do what they needed to do, and they wanted to continue to play game. They want to continue to play a game. You know how the white man in America does. He think it's a game and sport to hunt beasts. And so you think it's another sport of hunting a beast until you realize that God is with me, which means if anything, if I even stomp my toe, listen, bro, you dead. If I even stomp my toe, you dead. You get me? You understand me? And I don't care what Christian you get and what they think about it. Okay? I'm a prophet of God. I don't need the authorities or approvals of church people. I don't need their approval. I'm a prophet of God. Anybody jump and it's all over. Anybody jump and it's all over for what you call America. And you've already taken your chances, and that's why you got COVID-19. You played with me, and that's why you got COVID-19. We're not playing no games, buddy. I told you before COVID came, America is expired. Go check my Facebook. I'm a real prophet of God. I told you with no outward appearance of any virus, any diseases, any chaos. There was nothing. There was no chaos in your community. There was no problems. There was no outward problems in your community. July 25th, 2019. Go check the news. Go check all the stuff that was going on during that time. Go check it. That's how credible I am. Go check all the news. Go check all the stuff that was going on. July 25th, 2019. Go check it all out. Go check it out. Go check it out. And you'll see it was nothing there. There was nothing there. And I told you out the blue, America is expired. 6 months later, COVID-19 was here. That's what makes me a prophet. That does not just happen. I also told for the gang stalkers while I was in Tampa. Let me note this too. While I was in Tampa, for the little fame whores that's out there, they want their little 15 minutes of fame. They ain't number fame whores, trying to leech off of what I am and my in the power that God has on my life and who I am and the greatness that I am. There are some enemies that leech off your greatness. They're not enemies. They want to be. There are these modern day Americans that think being your enemy is going to make them just as famous as you. They think being your enemy is going to give them a spotlight in your line, in your lane. This is why I do not acknowledge Freemasons, and I do not acknowledge the Illuminati, and I do not acknowledge Freemason police, and I do not acknowledge National Guard or any of your military or any of them or any of the community that you have here. Because it's all about trying to join themselves to my greatness. That's what it is. That's why they halfway kissing my butt half the time and halfway trying to oppose the other time. Because it's all about fame. It's all about them trying to be my legendary enemy. You ain't my legendary enemy. I fight the satanic kingdom. That's why you do not put no fear in my heart. You think you do. I'm in strategy. This is all strategy. And you should realize that. If you don't see me half the time, then what you think that means? That you're enemies. That's what it means. If you don't see me kicking it out on the block, you don't see me out here just chilling in the neighborhood, what does that mean? That I realize that you're enemies, you idiot. So why would I be out there? It's not being fearful, but why would I be out there? Think about it. If you knew, why would you be out there then? Because all of that is staged and all that is enemies. Why would I be out there and entertain that then? See, back in 2019, back to the story, back to the facts. Back in 2019, I told people that were gang stalking me in Tampa while I was on my way to California. I told them, I told these little gang stalker, telepathic gang stalkers, psychics and witches and warlocks and whatever the government is using for mind surveillance. I told them if they follow me to California, this was in 2019. This was after I gave the prophecy. This was after the prophecy, July 25th, 2019. This was after that. This was like around September, October of 2019. Well, October of 2019. Somewhere around in there. I told them if they follow me to California, specifically, this is the words I use, plagues is going to come to this country. I told you that. That was in late 2019, after the prophecy that America is expired. This is for all spiritualists and all these spiritual people. This is the difference between voodoo and hoodoo and Santeria and boo boo. Okay? This is the difference between voodoo, hoodoo, and boo boo. Okay? I put on Facebook, America is expired. What voodoo priest can do that? If you say America is expired, nothing happens. I don't care who you think you are. Tell a hoodoo priest or priestess to say America is expired and see what happens. Nothing happens. So all you're doing is trying to compare yourself to all you people with spiritual gifts. All you're trying to do is like I said, be a rival and leech off of my greatness. And it's not going to happen. That's why I don't acknowledge you. And I don't acknowledge you foundationally because you're not my equal. You cannot do what I do. Listen, you're not in this lane. Okay? I'm an international spiritual person. You're a local neighborhood spiritual person that has probably received your rank from your family. Your grandmother told you had a spiritual gift. Yeah, that part. Your mama told you had a spiritual gift. I didn't get that I didn't come about that way. I got in the room and I got a relationship with God for real. Okay? And I have credibility all over the place, all over the country. All over. People have seen my likeness for years. They've seen my messages for years. For people that don't know, this is my second go around on YouTube. This is not, listen, that's why I'm not worried about the likes. I'm not worried about the fame of it. I'm not worried about all that corny stuff that they focused on now on YouTube, likes and subscribes and all of that. That's the new generation. I come from the original generations as far as YouTube come, before there was any YouTube videos and sponsorships, and they were all over, sports shows and all of that, before YouTube was anywhere like that, before YouTube was all over the culture and everything, and at different sporting events, different events, famous events. Before all of that happened, I was on YouTube before that. Okay? I was on YouTube way before that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to, before your family knew what it was, I was on YouTube. Before you halfway knew what it was and how to use it, I was on YouTube. That's what I'm trying to show you. Back in 2007, I got emails right now that I just looked at today where I was on YouTube and getting people subscribing my videos in 2007. Okay? That's a 2007, not 2017, 2007, 07. Okay? That's 16 years ago. That's 16 years ago. I was on YouTube ministering 16 years ago. Yeah, you need to know that. You need to know. I was on YouTube 16 years ago. I know it's hard to believe YouTube was even out that long. It hasn't even been out that long. But you can go check the credibility of that. That's for the FBI, that's for the CIA, that's for the government. I was on YouTube 16 years ago, buddy. Ministry. Not dancing around, ministry. Okay? So that's what you up against. You're up against someone who was ministering on YouTube 16 years ago. It means everything. It shows it explains everything. That's why me and you are enemies. Because I'm a true spiritual man of God. I'm a true man of God that has credibility all over the place, dating back to 16 years ago on YouTube. This is my second time around. I'm not doing this for views. This is all about spiritual war now. This is what this is all about. This ain't about no happy days. Oh, happy days. This ain't no happy days channel. Oh, happy days. Nah, this ain't that, buddy. This is spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare. And everything has changed. No disrespect to that song. I love the words of that song, but you get my point. This is not some happy-go-lucky situation. This is not no happy-go-lucky page right here. This is all about spiritual warfare, all about showing you who America is and what our position as Christians, what our position is up to date now. Okay? And back in the time when I was on YouTube the first time, I was already telling you about America. I was already telling you 16 years ago, I was telling you about America, and I'm still telling you now. And now they have engaged us as Christians. They have engaged me as a prophet, and they have been cursed as a result. They have been cursed. I told them, I can't speak for anybody else. All I know is God is with me on a national level, which means he will curse whole countries for me, not for a ministry, not for us collectively as the body of Christ, for me. Okay? Because see, most of you Christians, you can't say that. You can't say that because you have not really given God that no real time in your life to where your rank rises, and therefore the warfare that is against that is against your enemies can go nationwide. That's why they keep taking it up and up. They got to go collect more people to themselves to fight against me who don't even know me. You know why they got to do that against one man? Because I'm high ranking. I'm very high ranking. It's one man, and look at all of them. That shows you how weak they are. Listen. The bottom line is they try to make it seem like it's tough and they bad from doing that. The truth is they're too weak to have one person to defeat me. That's what the truth is. And that goes for voodoo, hoodoo, Santeria, and any form of other witchcraft you got going, in any form of military, any form of anything, for that matter. That's why they got to join against one man like that. Because I represent the kingdom of God. That's what it is. Yeah, you got to do that. But guess what? The surprise is America's not going to make it. That's the surprise. I know you didn't see this coming, did you? I know you've been following Bible prophecy according to the Americans. You didn't see this one coming, did you? Well, you're not going to make it. Surprise! America's not going to make it. Well, you should have knew there would be some surprise in history by now. In modern time, it's time for a big surprise, don't you think? It's been quiet for quite some time now. About 50 years, there's been a good quiet still as far as life-changing things. It's about time for a big surprise. The big surprise is America's not going to make it. And I don't care about your dreams. I don't care about what you got going. I don't care what you do and how you manipulate. You're not going to make it. Because look, you did what you did too long. That's the thing. That's where you messed up at. You did what you did too long. Which means to me, you wasn't sufficient in what you did. You wasn't adequate in what you did. When we strike at our enemies, it's felt. I've been in spiritual war for about what? I can tell you everything because there's no tangible weapons. It's no way everything I'm talking about, you can put this to a tangible operation or tangible weapons. As long as there's no tangible weapons and no tangible operations, you have nothing to point to. You have nothing to point to. All you can do, you can sit back and watch. But once I tell you that I have no intentions of going about doing anything tangibly, then you're just putting me under surveillance as a regular human being. If I tell you that, I am less of a threat than the person that doesn't tell you that. Well, you don't know what these people are going to do. They ain't telling you nothing, are they? I mean, this is everyday people that can go shoot. Well, look at your community. These everyday people are not going around saying, I don't do tangible operations. They're not saying that. So in all actuality, this is for the smart people. In all actuality, I am less of a threat than your common community. I'm actually less of a threat because there is no tangible means. There is no tangible operations. There's no tangible weapons. And hear this part. Everything that happens to you comes from God, and that means it's deserved. Well, if God is doing it to you, you deserve it. So what you got to say about that? CIA, FBI, what you got to say about that, buddy? So that means you got me under illegal surveillance. I already told you. I am not a king. A king has to go out and send men to go to war with his enemies. A king or queen has to go out and have a team of individuals that go out and infiltrate the enemy and bring back information, and they send out spies to bring back information and infiltrate. I don't have to send out no type of spies. I don't have to do no infiltration. You see me doing any of that? Do you see me doing any of that? You don't, do you? And I know the war is real, and I don't have to do it, do I? You know why? Because I'm a prophet of God. That means angels is all around this whole neighborhood they call Jackson Heights. That neighborhood, this whole neighborhood is engulfed with angels. The whole thing. And if anybody jump, you and your family can die. By the hands of angels, by supernatural means that you cannot explain. Look at the deaths that's been happening in your community. Look at the strange occurrences that's been happening at the Jackson Heights subway station. Look at the stuff that's been happening in the Jackson Heights neighborhood. These fires and these killings and these deaths and stuff. Look at all that's been going on. Yeah, that's why I got to do a video on spiritual occurrences, because people don't understand them. They ignore them. Like all this snow that's going on in California. Oh, that's a coincidence. And New York didn't have any snow this past winter. You can count on one hand how many real snows you had. That's unheard of. That's unheard of in New York. You can count on one hand how many substantial storms you've had, snowstorms. These are all spiritual occurrences. You had a flash flood in 2021. That's the first time it occurred ever in New York. You had a flash flood. You had a flash flood. New York never had a flash flood before. These broadcasters and these officials are quietly telling you that. You know why? They don't want you to acknowledge that it's a spiritual occurrence for playing with the kingdom of God. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's why you have all these storms. They're warning shots. They're spiritual warning shots. That's what they are. Ironically, it's the quiet before the storm. It's a storm that represents the quiet, the silence before the storm. There is no games. Listen, all of that you got going on down there is way beneath me, buddy. I'm talking about way beneath me. Look, lower than it would be under the throne of a king. I'm a prophet of God. I'm in a whole different plane, in a whole different lane than your whole community. And if I'm a spiritual bomb, if I'm even touched, everything explodes and goes away. See, I didn't tell you that, did I? A prophet is a spiritual bomb. You touch me and boom, it's all over. And that's why we conquer. Well, you should have knew that. You thought God was going to let me be out here slipping? You think I'm just confident for no reason? You should have seen my confidence level and knew something will happen to you if you play with me. Okay? I don't walk around like this for nothing. And the spiritual let me go back to this flash flood. This flash flood happened to New York, and it never happened to New York. Go check the records. It never happened in the 60s, the 70s. This is for the old school New Yorkers. They're sitting back watching, thinking you OG to me, and you think you can do something to me. Let me tell you something, man. It's been a flash flood in your city. You've never had a flash flood in your city. You understand me? You know what that means. Do you know what that means? Something has happened in your community by weather, all the strong hazardous weather that you've had. Something has happened in your community that has never happened before. That's from the times of the 1950s, the 1960s, all them heydays, all them golden years, all that time with all these famous people being here, all the 90s with all the famous people back and forth and all of that going on, all the 80s, all the time of Michael Jackson and all that going on, the 70s and all of that and all of that. You know what I'm saying? All that Curtis Mayweather music and all of that. You know what I mean? All that time, there was never a flash flood in New York City. They didn't tell you like that, did they? They didn't tell you like that, did they? The news anchormen and women didn't tell you just like that, did they? In all the time of the 1960s and the 70s and the 80s, in 2021, there was a flash flood here. Flooding of rain, flooding that never came to New York. Rain floods that never came ever. And that just happened to be. That's what you're telling me. Yeah, your favorite preachers ain't even talking, they ain't even acknowledging these spiritual occurrences that's going on, are they? That's why I got to do a video on it. All these spiritual occurrences going on, and all of y'all ignoring it. Like I said, for all you little OGs in New York, let me help you understand something, man. Listen, I'm nothing to play with. I'm not no gangster. I'm not no thug, some criminal that breaks the law. You know what I am? I'm way worse than that, buddy. I'm a spiritual person that's connected to God, a prophet of God that comes from North Carolina. That means my spirit, and I'm not saying this definitely solidifies my spirituality, but it makes my spirituality very credible. Very credible. That it's not some New York City slicker Christianity. No disrespect to the God's people here, but there is some synthetic. You notice in the big city, there are synthetic religious people. I am not from New York. I am not from New York City. I was not raised here. I was not born here. That's what you first need to realize. I come from a place miles away from where you at. Miles and miles and miles and miles away. That's where I was raised. That's where I was born. That's what you first need to understand. You listen. Ain't nothing you can do with that, buddy. Ain't nothing you can do with that. Because all you are is a bunch of money-hungry criminals. And listen, we can shut that down in hours' time. It can be anarchy in hours' time if that's what you want. Yeah, that's what you up against, buddy. We'll put anarchy on this whole community. It'll be anarchy. That's what you got to realize. So you're being conquered. Look, you're being conquered by the white man. Why not be conquered by the black man? Ow. The white man conquered you. You ain't have no problem with that. He's still conquering. Now, a black man from North Carolina tell you conquered because you played with him. Hey, you played with me. You didn't play with the white man. You played with me. You deserve to be conquered. Look at it that way. I don't care about your family. I don't care about what you're doing. Listen, if you cared about your family, you shouldn't have been out here playing games. That's how we justify that. That's how we justify that. You listen, if you cared about your family, if you cared about your community, you shouldn't have been out here playing no games. Now, shouldn't you? Shouldn't you have? You shouldn't have been playing no games, and it's too late to talk up and yelp like a little puppy dog. Row, 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 row. My family, row, 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 row. We don't care nothing about that. You should have thought about that back in 2017. You should have thought about that. Yeah, you should have thought about that way back then. When you was playing all these games, and now you're acting like a little dumb American, entitled little American. Now you're yelping like a little puppy when the God is socking it to you. You should have more dignity in warfare than that. You should have more dignity as a soldier. Out here crying, talking about somebody doing something to you. What am I doing? What am I actually doing to you? So that, I mean, do you see that you don't have any integrity as far as a soldier, even as a villain? More so as a villain. As a villain, listen. You shouldn't be crying about nothing. You're a villain. You're a bad guy. You're a tough guy. Why you crying? Huh? Why you crying? I'm a hero. You're a villain, but you crying. Well, he's a threat to us. I thought you was a villain. You shouldn't even have that kind of language. Boy, that's a 7 hour. You shouldn't even have that kind of language. Here you talking about he's a threat to us. I thought you was just a villain 2 years ago. Like I told you, back in 2019 in Tampa, I told these people that's playing these games out here, yeah, the same ones, they've been doing the same thing back in 2019 before COVID. For people that's just now seeing this and you're thinking, OMG, and I can't believe this, and you think it's entertaining, let me help you understand something. I done beat this same format that they're doing with these car convoys and all of this, riding by in hordes. I defeated that in California, Florida, and North Carolina. 3 different states besides New York City. And I officially beat it here. I mean, everybody knows it's beat. That's 4 cities I beat of this same stuff that they doing. They renew it to a new city. Hear this part. They renew it to a new city. If you're new to it, that's how they refresh it. And they get new people to join it and start it all over again. I beat them in so many different places. Over 9 times have I beat the group y'all call Freemasons or Illuminati. Each one or either one or whatever one. Or both. Whatever the case may be, you know who it is. And we beat them 9 times. Okay? So now you see why I don't feel the need to fight that. Because I've proven to myself internally, subconsciously, that I can defeat it. And I've already have defeated it. I have already defeated it. Ex-military have declared me as victor over that same community, organization. I have been declared, I don't care how much they spin their wheels. I don't care how much they think they're going to fight to the end, all of that foolishness. I have been declared victor to the glory of Christ, to the glory of God, to the glory of the Holy Ghost back in October 2019. At the end of October 2019. By ex-military. It was already declared it was over. So what you have here after the real war is nothing but people spinning their wheels, thinking they're in the American spirit. We're going to show them American spirit. We're going to fight to the end. How much more of a cornball can you be? How much more of a cornball can you be when you got COVID-19, you got 1 million deaths? Putting these people and these children in harm's way because you want to prove a point that you ain't going to prove to me. Because you can never beat me. You got 43 states of child marriage, and that same guy you've been playing with is the man that's revealing it. Now that's called being conquered. There ain't nobody else. Joe Biden revealing it? Jay-Z, Beyonce, are they revealing it? Is Kanye West with his big mouth always acting like he got some spiritual relationship with God that no one else has had? No one else has. Like he's supposed to be some revolutionary. Did he tell you about 43? Did Ye West tell you about 43 states of child marriage? He didn't, did he? With all his spirituality, so-called spirituality, he didn't tell you about it, did he? He didn't tell you about it, did he? That's what I'm talking about. Jay-Z didn't tell you about it. He didn't tell you about 43 states of child marriage. Kanye West didn't tell you. Ye West, Beyonce didn't tell you about child marriage. Did Snoop Dogg tell you about child marriage? He used to have a football league. How come he didn't tell you about child marriage? Denzel Washington, did he tell you about child marriage? Hey, did Angela Bassett tell you about child marriage? She on the new 911 show. Did she tell you about child marriage? Eddie Murphy, with all his jokes, did he tell you about child marriage? Huh? With all his family-oriented comedies, no disrespect, but did he tell you about child marriage? He didn't, did he? Mike Tyson sitting up smoking weed, having all these conversations and everything. Did he tell you about child marriage? He didn't, did he? No disrespect to Mike Tyson. But I let Mike Tyson know some things that's going on. I emailed him. He still ain't saying nothing about child marriage. I guess he's sticking to the street codes, ain't he? None of these rappers, none of these so-called, all these hardcore rappers, the baby, he ain't tell you nothing about child marriage. He talking about gay people, but did he tell you about child marriage? Did the baby from Charlotte, he think he from Charlotte, he's from Cleveland. Go check his Wikipedia. The baby is not born in Charlotte. He was not born in Charlotte. The baby was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay? He's not, and so some people wouldn't even consider him Charlotte's own. Well, he wasn't born there. That's not his blood. That's not his geographics. As far as his origin, he ain't telling you nothing about child marriage, is he? Who else you got going on? Who else you got? Any of these celebrities you want to name, you think about the best of them, and none of them have told you about child marriage in your country. They don't know. Okay, so this is why they had to demonize me. This is why they had to demonize me. Dr. Dre didn't tell you nothing about child marriage, did he? Eminem, with all his shenanigans and all his talkings and all his stuff he talking about, he didn't tell you about child marriage. Did Eminem tell you about it? He didn't, did he? 50 Cent, did 50 Cent tell you about child marriage? Huh? All these gangsters, BMF, all these people. Huh? All these people that played in that show, they tell you about child marriage? All these so-called street legends, did any of them tell you, all here in New York City, all throughout the 5 boroughs, did they tell you about child marriage? So see, I outrank that, whether you like it or not, bruh. And you keep comparing and pitting me up against them like two pit bulls. And it's not even a competition. It's not even a competition. None of these rappers told you this. Nobody in Compton, did anybody in Compton tell you about child marriage? Did anybody in Brooklyn and anybody in Marcy tell you about child marriage? They didn't, did they? Anybody in Harlem tell you about child marriage? In 43 states of America, with the last child marriage law, besides 43 states of child marriage, the last child marriage law was passed under the Trump administration. Did anybody tell you in this country about the last child marriage law passed while Donald Trump was in office? The last child marriage law was passed while Donald Trump was in office. Anybody tell you about that? This is what makes me solidified as a prophet. This is what prophets do. We come with the bad news. We come with it hardcore. We come with the hardcore news, and we expose this stuff for real. We got credible situations, credible information, and we expose stuff for real. Not all this little stuff that you're being seeing going on. All this talking about symbols of the Illuminati and all of this stuff and all of that, man. Listen, man. Listen, you see me spending a lot of time on that? Do you see me spending a lot of time on it? You don't, do you? You don't, do you? So for all the weed culture and for all these people out here, man, listen, man. Listen. I don't care what money you got. I don't care what you do. When it comes to informations, when it comes to proving prophecies, proving, you listen, you're not even in the same vicinity of me. Okay? It's like trying to compare Malcolm X to a rapper. How you gonna do that? How you gonna compare Malcolm X to some weed smoking, people riding around in 6'4" Chevys, hitting switches? I don't care what they do. I don't care what kind of acrobats they do, street acrobats they do. They can't compare to a Malcolm X like figure, bro. You can't compare to that. You can't compare to it. It's two different planes and lanes. That's what I'm trying to show you. But because I'm black, they think they can compare me to street stuff. I guess that's what it is. You tell me what it is. When I ain't out there hustling and selling drugs, you tell me why I'm compared to the streets. Oh, because I got respect from the streets? Well, that still does not put me in. Listen, and I can talk your language. That still does not put me in a position of a drug dealer. Yeah, I didn't tell you I was selling drugs. I did not tell you I was presently hustling, did I? I did not tell you I was out here hustling. Okay, so that's what real people will listen for. They will listen for that information. Okay, so you ain't heard that information. You ain't heard me say I'm selling drugs. You ain't hear me say I'm doing any of this. You ain't hear nothing that would signify that you think I'm out here getting down for mine as far as crimes go. You ain't heard nothing like that, have you? Okay, so to me it's kind of racist. I don't care who it comes from, for you to come and bring street people up around me. Yeah, it's kind of racist because just because I'm black, you think you gonna bring JoJo and them from around the way. That's a racist gesture to me when I have nothing to do with that lane. When that lane is beneath me now. Yeah, you still look up to it like a junior, like a little cousin. Listen, that lane is beneath me now. And that's based on information and spiritual authority. I'm showing you what it's for. I'm showing you in plain English what it's for. Why? I'm not saying it vaguely. I'm pointing out the facts. The whole community don't know nothing about child marriage, and you think the streets is above me? You tripping. That's how much you worship it. That's how much you jock it. Where somebody's telling you about 43 states of child marriage and you still infatuated with big butt white girls smoking weed, riding around in 6'4" Chevys, hitting switches. You still infatuated with that. Man, you tripping, bro. You can't see me. I can speak your language, but you can't speak mine. And that's what angers you the most, is that I can speak your language, but you can't speak my language. That's real. That's what you're mad at. Okay, talk about this prophecy stuff then. Talk about these 43 states of child marriage for almost a year like I did. Talk about the age of consent for 3 years like I've done. Telling everybody all over the internet with it. Do that and then claim to be in my lane. Until then, you are oblivious and naive and green concerning what I know. So how can that be above me? Criminals that's doing crimes. How can that be above me? And I'm releasing information to people that lock y'all up. I'm calling the precincts and telling them about 43 states of child marriage. Yeah, let's talk about the credible information. Let's talk about the credible street cred here. I done called the precincts, the police precincts, and told them, not informing them of crimes, but informing them that their country has 43 states of child marriage. Yeah, that's for all you people that think you can lock me up. I done talked to the police. And you know what they know about me? That I'm talking about this child marriage, big baby. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I done talked to the police face to face. You ain't got nobody that I'm intimidated by. I'm a big dog, big baby. I'm a big dog, big baby. I can talk to the police. I can look them in their face when it's time to go to war. I can look them in their face and tell them about these real wars and politics out here. That's what big dogs do, buddy. We ain't scared of no police. I ain't scared of no police. You are. You know why? Because you're always dipping and diving and dodging and doing something wrong. You too big, you too much in the street life to even look them in their face. You can't look at them in their face, and it's all psychological. It's all psychological. You can't look the white man in his face because you're doing something wrong. So by living the crime life, you always remain inferior to the white authorities. I am not inferior to them. That's the difference. That's the big difference between me and you, and that's why I can't be compared to the streets, bro. I'm calling the precincts. I called the precinct. I'm contacting the precincts, telling them about 43 states of child marriage. And you know what the police that got on the line, because this was community affairs. This was the community affairs extension. Just in case you think I'm just calling and raving. No, I did it officially. I called the community affairs, whatever, something to that extent. That's what it was called, something to that extent. The community affairs, and let them know that this community they call America has child marriage in it. You know what he told me? Thank you, sir, for this information. God bless you. That's what the cop told me. I'm talking about this. I was talking about the age of consent under 18 in 40 states. Why they locking up pedophiles? This is the difference between me and you. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. And so you can sit up and think it's a fake world, but it doesn't get no realer than calling the cops and calling a precinct and going to community affairs extension and talking like a real spiritual leader. Okay, you're not doing that. Okay, you're an unsophisticated peasant. Okay, that's what you are. You're a chicken-eating, hood politic peasant. I'm going to call it like it is. You don't say no when somebody else go hard on somebody. That's what they are, man. If you playing with me and if you out here in these hood politics and got my name in your hood politics, you are a chicken-eating, hood politic peasant to me. That's what you are. While we on the subject of kings and queens and authorities, guess what you are? Guess what you hood politicking gang stalkers and hood politic people? Both of them. You know what you are? You know what you are? You a peasant, man. You don't even deserve to be talking about something you ain't got nothing, you don't even know nothing about. Do you know about child marriage? Do you know the war that we fighting? Then listen. In all actuality, beyond ego, and who you think you are, and beyond arrogance, you don't even classify to address me. Okay, it ain't nothing but ego addressing me. It ain't nothing but ego pulling up. What you pulling up for? It ain't nothing but ego. That's what I'm trying to show you. Take away the ego, take away the arrogance, and it's nothing there. It's nothing there. Let's be 100. Take away all the threats, take away the guns, take away the ego, and take away the arrogance. Now, what they got to say to me? Boom. What they got to say? What they got to say to me? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to show you. Take away all the threats, all the guns that they got, all the badness that they think they are, all the arrogance, all the ego. Take away all of that and what they got. That's what I'm trying to show you. And that separates the men from the boys. Because big dogs do it all the time. They put the guns aside, they put the arrogance and ego aside, and they can talk real talk. And when we do that, guess what? You got nothing, man. You got nothing. And I got everything on your, you hear me? I got everything on your whole country. 43 states of child marriage. I got all this on your country. All this gang stalking. I got credibility as a prophet. I can talk to you face to face about that. I told you that July 25th, 2019, America is expired. 6 months later, COVID-19 came. And that's what I'm saying. See, so if we have these real conversations, I lose you because you don't have the faith to really believe this, do you? So we can't have these conversations. So the only conversation we can have is about the 43 states of child marriage. See, I got what you need. I got whatever you need. If you want to go higher, we can talk higher. But I can definitely meet you where you at. You know where you at? You need to know about 43 states of child marriage in America. That's where you at, big baby. That's where you at. Huh? And listen, you can think this is a gimmick all you want, but that makes you the cornball. It makes you the cornball to think what I'm doing is a gimmick or something corny about it. That makes you corny, not me. What's corny about talking about 43 states of child marriage in America? What's corny about that? That's the goofiness in you. Listen, that's the goofiness in you. I could sit up here and put jokes on it and put some jazz on it and everything and season it down like a black man would. But listen, at the end of the day, ain't nothing goofy about what I'm doing, bro. Yeah, just because I got a little seasoning on it, you think, listen, ain't nothing corny about this, bro. You stupid. You can't read between the lines. I might be making jokes, but I'm not playing. I might be making jokes, but I'm not joking. You got 43 states of child marriage and you're in trouble. Your whole credibility is in trouble. You thought I was in trouble. You thought I was you thought I was subject to them, didn't you? You thought I was subject to them. You should have knew something was higher than people that do crimes. That's the highest thing in your community. You should have knew better than that. That's how much of the culture got you twisted to like you a 14-year-old kid or something. Like these gangsters mean the world to you. What are you, a 14-year-old kid? When you grow up, you realize it's something a little higher than those so-called gangsters. And I do mean so-called in many of people's cases. Okay, now you met something higher. Now you see something higher. And now you can stop being borderline racist and pick me up against criminals when I'm not living the criminal life. That's borderline racist. Well, you think because I'm black, I'm affiliated with thugs. You think because I'm black, these thugs can see me. Boom, ow. Oh, whoa. You think because I'm black, they can see me. You think because I'm black, a gangster can see me. Man, that ain't racist to you. That is racist. How they gonna see me? When I'm talking about stuff they ain't talking about. When I'm talking about stuff they don't even know. How can they look at me and see me when I'm on a whole different level of information? My mind is in a whole different plane and level of reality. And how can you see me when my reality is different from yours? Man, come on, man. You know what I'm getting at. How can you see me, bro? How can you perceive me? How? That's what I'm saying. That ain't nothing but racism. I can speak your language. I've been around killers. Hey, but that don't give you the reason to pull. That gives you absolutely no reason to pull up, and it don't mean you're gonna see me when you do pull up. Boom, ow. Well, just because I've been around killers, you gonna see me? You're not gonna see me just because I've been around killers. You're not. Like I said, I can speak your language, you can't speak mine. Well, how come you ain't understood me yet then? Well, how come you didn't know who I was from the beginning then? Boom. How come you didn't know who I was from the beginning? That's for all the spiritualists. That's for all the voodoo and hoodoo and all these psychics and telepaths and all these people with spiritual gifts. How come you didn't see me from the beginning? How come it took time? You know why? Because you can't see me. That's why. Well, if you could see me, then you would have had no problem perceiving me properly, now would you? You wouldn't have had no problem. Why you got a problem? Because you can't see me. That's why. See, I don't say it out of arrogance. You think I'm saying it out of arrogance. I'm saying it out of facts that you cannot perceive me properly. You can't perceive me properly. You don't know what lane and level I'm on. You don't know what attacks and everything I'm going through. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know. Okay? And if you did, then why are you in the situation where you're so repentant towards me then? Why you calling me a king all of a sudden? Why are you giving me all this fake love and this love without money then? Oh, because you owe me a bag. Come on, you owe me a bag. Yes, you owe me a bag. Yeah, I ain't playing no games. Yeah, I don't care nothing about no titles. I care about my money. Yeah, I ain't playing no games. I done lived too many places, bro. What you fail to realize is I done lived in California, multiple cities in California. Because when you hear California, all you gonna think, oh, he gonna talk about LA. I done lived in more than one city in California. I done lived in San Francisco. I done lived in Los Angeles. I done lived in San Jose. I done lived on the streets in San Jose. I done been on the streets in San Jose. I done been on the streets in Sacramento. That's 4 different cities in California that I've been on the streets in. So I'm not just some Los Angeles guy, like some guy that's been to Los Angeles. I've been in 4 different cities on the streets in California. That's what I'm saying. So I'm more California influenced than just Los Angeles. That's what you need to understand, bro. That's what you need to understand. And you think I was just standing there and I wasn't interacting with the people? Once I started interacting with the people, I got the juice automatically. Automatically, man. It pulls you up. It pulls you up to their lane and their level. And that's what you don't want to recognize. And is when you start interacting with people from a different city, you get pulled up to their lane and level. You as New Yorkers should know that. Well, when somebody comes to your city, they get pulled up to your lane and level, right? In the way you think, and the way you talk, and the way you move, right or wrong. So why it can't happen in California then? The same thing. It ain't got nothing to do with how many people you know and how many people you're affiliated with. You get pulled up to the lane and level when you start interacting with the people. That's what I'm saying. You stupid. Some of you stupid. I can talk your language, but you can't talk mine. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what irks you the most. You can't talk my level. You can't get on top of me. That's what irks you. You think you're trying to find a way for me to bow down, and it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen when I know more than you know, and I know about these 43 states of child marriage. What do I look like bound down to some of these criminals out here? Come on, you can't be serious. Look, this is the perfect test. This is the perfect test, and I should have been saying this. I could take this to the prison house. I could take this to the prison house. Who you think they're gonna respect? Me or you? Let's just say me and you go to the prison house. You know, I'm from the South. I say prison house. we go to the prison house, right? Me and you go into the prison house. we get recognized. I start talking about 43 states of child marriage. Whether you believe, whatever you believe, man, it doesn't matter. The fact is, I'm revealing information that people don't know. That's the facts, right? Okay, we go on with that. We go on with that. And I'm revealing that to people. And what you got? Street credibility. So you think you're going to outrank me there? You think you're going to outrank me in prison? When I'm talking about 43 states of child marriage, and I've been substantially, and it's been substantial with me doing that. You think you're going to outrank me as a thug because you've been putting in crimes? You think you're going to outrank me? And I'm talking about 43 states of child marriage, and I know none of these people locked up don't know about it. Man, none of these fellas don't know about that, man. If I go to any prison, I'm going to, and I be who I am, like I am now, as who I am, I would outrank you. That's among criminals. So as I am right now, would outrank you if we went around nothing but criminals. Let's get the domestic people out the way. Let's get the docile people out the way. And guess what? They're going to expect me to be protected by authorities. They're going to expect me as a man of God to actually talk to the police. If I'm in harm's way, if somebody's harming me. Now, when it comes to snitching on people selling drugs, they will probably feel like I shouldn't have no problem. I should have no part of that. But have I talked on anybody selling drugs? Have I snitched on anybody selling drugs or doing any crimes outside of me? Outside of me now, it has nothing to do with me. And I just went and told on somebody. That's not her. It hasn't been done, has it? That's what I'm saying. See, the truth is you a street nerd. You a street nerd to where you don't even, you so smart when it comes to the streets that you stupid. That you don't live real life when it comes to the streets. That's the difference between me and you. And so you think I snitched, and in all actuality, me as a spiritual leader, many people will agree I can't be ran up on. You can't be running up on me. And if you don't believe that part, what do you think God want me to do? Boom. Oh, you think God want me to stick to the street code? Of course he doesn't. He want me to call the police and have you locked up for playing around me. Boom. Sucker. And look, I'm still above your lane. I'm still greater than you. Even when it comes to anything out there, I'm still greater than you. But I come to terms with that long time ago. Me as a spiritual leader, I can't be out here talking about, oh, I'm gonna stick totally to the street codes, and I ain't gonna have nothing to do with this. If they do this and do that, I can't do that because I'm too important. I'm too important not to have authorities in place, whether they be police, military, or whatever. I'm saying I am too important to not be to have true protection, armed protection. I'm too important. Let's put it like that. I'm too important to not have armed protection. And any person locked up, knowing I'm a Christian, knowing I'm a spiritual leader, and this is what I've been professing. And in actuality, when me and you, or you and your little buddy have a conflict, what are we talking about? Child marriage, right? Think about it. So based on that, and that was the conflict, and me, and I'm talking about the situation that happened here in a story about a year ago. I was at a corner store, and I came into the corner store, and the dude asked me what am I listening to on my phone, right? He asked me what I'm listening to on my phone. Remind you, before that day, hear this part, before that day, I had already communicated with the police precinct, not about nobody else doing anything, about the age of consent in America concerning the children. I had already called the precinct back in February. So this was like 2 months before that happened. I had already talked to the police authorities. not as a snitch, as a person informing the community about the child marriage and the age of consent. I had already done that. So guess what that means? I am on a higher level now. Boom, boom. I'm on a higher level and I can't be played with. You feel me? And that's, like I said, that's without snitching. But I'm on a higher level where I can't be played with by no ignorant people. By no bipolar people talking about they criminals and thugs, but they really bipolar. I can't be played with when it comes to stuff like that. So when I fell out with the people at the deli and two dudes jumped me, guess what it was about? Me talking about child marriage in America. Now you see why we want blood. Because when that person heard child marriage, and I'm telling you this out your mouth, you shouldn't have nothing else to say. Guess what this person say? But Russia, I told him this, I said, I don't like America because America got child marriage in the country. Guess what he tells me? This is still at the deli with some little Mexican dude. Guess what he tells me? Oh, well, Russia, he still has something to say. This lets you know. Now, why would somebody still have something to say and you just told them about child marriage? You just told them about child marriage. And you're still trying to talk to that person about what Russia is doing. But guess what Russia is not doing? They don't have child marriage. So guess what? What you saying pales in comparison to what I just said. That's a 7 hour. Okay, that's number one. So I walked away. I said what I need to say, like a person saying, say, boom, I'm walking away. Now, I didn't say it to down him or whatever. I didn't know his stance on anything. Right? So I go around getting my groceries, and he still want to talk. And I'm like, bruh. I ain't trying to hear it. Now, when a man done told you about child marriage, a grown man, right? What else would he want to hear? What else do he need to hear about Russia? You trying to tell me something. You see what I'm saying? It don't even make common sense for you to talk after that. After I tell you about child marriage in America, you want to talk about what Russia is doing? That's what I'm saying. So then after that, this person says, oh, well, F you and Russia. Okay, so now I'm talking about child marriage, and you know that's my position. This is how it was introduced to me. This is how you met me, as a messenger talking about child marriage. Not talking about thug life, not sending out, not projecting myself as a gangster, right or wrong. Is that projecting myself as a gangster? So that's not why it happened. Some people say, well, it happened because he projected himself as a gangster. How am I projecting myself as a gangster when I told him about child marriage and walked away? Right. And he didn't have the manhood to take what I said. I didn't direct it towards him like he did it. But he was a childish person that had to have something else to say after that. And I was done with the conversation. And so who wins based on that? I've already won intellectually. I've already won being a better man. I've already won based on that. So then he says, F me and Russia. Now, remind you, the reason why Russia is even brought up, because I come in the deli with the Russian anthem playing. So this man, he's so friendly, he's happy-go-lucky. He's talking to a stranger that he doesn't know. He asks me, this is the first mistake, talking to a stranger. I thought New Yorkers didn't do that. So he's asking me, what are you listening to on your phone? Like he's some happy Ned Flanders type of guy. And I'm like, well, I'm listening to the Russian anthem. I don't like America. America has child marriage. That's exactly how it went, right? And I walked away. Boom. The guy at the deli even was like, woof. So I walked away. That's how you know he's some fake Kung Fu. This guy who challenged me, who played around with me, who jumped me. This how you know they some little fake Kung Fu type of guys. So he acting like he's showing down with me. I'm not showing down with this guy. I'm telling. He asked me what I was listening to. I told him why I ain't like America, and I gave him the reason why. He wanted to go toe for toe, tit for tat, and there wasn't nothing needed to be said. Now you see what I'm saying? But he had to say something as if he's trying to show down with me or something. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, in that case, if somebody talking about child marriage, you're like, well, okay then. You're not going to say nothing else. That's going to be the topic of the day. Not what Russia is doing, which I'm pretty sure it couldn't compare. Well, what could he have said that can compare to child marriage that Russia is doing? That's what I'm saying. You save that, man. You save that for somebody who cares. You know what I'm saying? And you save that among men when something big is like that is being said about children. He went over what's said about children, didn't regard that, didn't respect that, didn't submit to that information, right? Most dudes with real men hearts would say, yeah, I ain't got nothing to say about that. You're a real man. You ain't got nothing to say about that. This man ain't saying it against you. He's telling you why he don't like America, and they got child marriage, and boom. As a man, you're going to sit there and, just like the deli clerk did, he sat there and he took it. He wasn't a real man. That was a boy. Okay? So then he's like, well, Russia got this. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to hear that. Now you see what I'm saying? I don't even want to hear that. Okay? I don't even want to hear it. And so then he said, F me and Russia. I said, bro, now I'm a man. I'm a man of dignity. I said, bro, you want to fight? Guess what he says? Wait, hold on a minute. Like he gonna pay for his stuff and then fight me. Who does that? I could have stole on him right there. When somebody offer you to a fight, it's war, it's fight time then. You don't say, oh, well, hold on a minute. Like this is on sport, bro. I could have stole on him right there. Who does that? And so then he had some other dude on the phone and he came in. And this dude I seen around the way. So I'm puzzled at a person I've seen before. It was more that than anything. And so if me being me, if I walk by you and I show common courtesy, respect as a person that I've seen you more than a couple times, and it seems like it's all good, then if you rushing me in my face, I'm not finna swing on you for no reason. Because I already know you, I've seen you a certain amount of times. So why would I just rush off and steal on you? You feel me? So it's a sense of confusion there. You see what I'm saying? This is a person that you walk by, you show common human respect, not out of fear. And okay, so you feel it's just a good vibe. You're trying to keep a good vibe in the community where you stay, and this is a person that's in that in the hood. So you've been walking by, keeping a peaceful vibe, right? And so you see this person in your face after this other person has been saying this, that, and the third, and you're confused, right?